Hey, what's up, guys? Carry on back on the video, and today I'm doing my Naruto review episode 105 review English dub. Yes, technically I actually brought it back, so yep. So here it goes. Episode starts out with Naruto carrying Dante there. Technically they got up to the fucking to the temple there. Naruto was carrying the Dante up the stairs and stuff like that. Technically, he was telling Dante actually was telling Naruto what actually happened there when he took the Chunin exams and stuff like that. In the flashback there, we see um, Mickey there. I think that's what his name is. Was actually was giving him the quiz there and shit. Mostly he was giving them the quiz there and stuff like that, saying about the things there. One guy fucking like left out of the fucking class there, and then he said, "You know what? You all failed there and stuff like that." So, he told them they all failed and shit, and uh, Dante was saying. Uh, Dante was actually saying there, saying he's like, what the fuck? Why in the fuck you failed us all and shit like that? He's like, you're not giving us a chance and stuff. And then he said he was saying something about um, he was saying something about that, saying about what his brother actually did and stuff like that, and what type of questions they actually gave him and shit. So Naruto made it all the way up there, carrying the Dante there, and Dante was like, you know what? He's like, you don't have to carry me the whole way. He's like, I have to do this by myself. He's like, it's fucking pointless if you carry me the whole way there. So, he remember what Sakura gave him and shit like that. He's like, oh yeah, medicine actually worked and shit. And he's like, oh crap. He kind of like felt kind of a little bit of like some pain in his legs there from like running and stuff like that. So he was he grabs the thing there and like was like heading off there and shit like that. The next scene there we see fucking the other runner there. Kind of looks like he was like just like chilling there for a while there and stuff like that. The ninja guy was telling him, the brain ninja guy there was saying something about uh, he's like, Dante actually got across the fucking, bridge there and stuff like that. So and then they're like, oh crap, we have to like move and shit like that. So they're about to move and shit. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna win this fucking race there and stuff like that. So they're like, he told him to get fucking going there because and shit like that. And he's like, I don't have to listen to you. And then he grabs him by the fucking neck there and says like, he's like, listen, he's like, my job is supposed to fucking help your ass. If I don't help your fucking ass, there, he's like, I will beat the. He's like, I will kill you and shit. That's what he was saying to him. He's like, better get going there. And he's like, yes sir. So he's running there. The guy ran across the bridge there and shit like that. Dante was trying to catch up to him there. The Rain Ninja stopped him there, hitting him with some type of sword thing there, and it looks and he was saying it was like a thunder spear type of sword. So technically he's like, you don't have nothing there and stuff like that. So he was starting to cut the fucking bridge down and shit like that. He started fucking cutting the bridge down and shit. Um, he's like, he's like, just get out of my way and shit like that. So he tries to run and he gets electrocuted by by the by the sword there. Um, he said something about he's like, you can't get past this sword and shit like that. So when that was going on with that shit, Naruto comes out of nowhere throwing some fucking dirt at him, and he's like, really, you're throwing fucking dirt at me and shit like that. He's like, well, Naruto was like saying like, well, I don't have all my. He's like, I don't have any kunais there, and shit like that. So he's like, the dirt was the best option to throw. so, so Naruto was starting. I'm gonna throw more and dirt at you and shit like that. So Naruto uses Shadow Clone Jutsu there. So he jumps right at him and stuff like that. Uh, when he was technically building up the Rasengan, so Naruto was technically building up the Rasengan there. He sent his clones to attack first there. They get fucking wiped out by the sword. Naruto attacks there, hits using the Rasengan and hitting the guy there, hitting the guy's sword in a way. Hits the guy's sword and technically, or not the guy's sword, but hit the Rain Ninja's sword, and then technically I guess the thing was eating his chakra there. I guess the sword ate his chakra. So kinda like the Rasengan technically failed there. The Rasengan technically failed. And he's like, what the fuck there and shit like that. And then and then the next scene there we seen like a flashback what actually happened to Adante there, and Adante was telling there Miki was trying to chase after him during that time to stop him and stuff like that, and mostly he stopped him on his tracks. He's like, you're observing the village there. If you walk into the Rain Village, you technically are observing the village there and stuff like that. At the time there, the Rain Ninja guy there, who was honestly the Leaf Ninja there, he was saying something about like he's like, this is like you're like worthless and shit like that. Why you're going against us and shit, and that's what he was saying. And he's like, your little brother's like technically abandoning you guys and abandoning the village there. And then he's like, he did the same thing. He told Miki that. And Miki was like saying like, well, I'm not gonna. He's like, he was saying something about. He's like, do what the fuck you want to me. He's like, I'm gonna still protect the Leaf Village there. And then he's like, wow. He's like, he doesn't care about his little brother there. He only cares about being like the village there, and so that's what he was saying. And then he shoots he shoots something out of his mouth, and it cuts the thing. And he told Dante to run, and technically he's like, get out of here and stuff like that. So he leaves there and stuff. He sees the fucking house exploded and stuff like that, and he told him, he's like, yeah, your brother escaped there, but I couldn't catch him and shit. That's what he was saying in the flashback to Dante. So when I was going on with that stuff there, he's like, he was telling him the story, and he was kind of a little bit shocked there. He did that. We see Naruto, or we see Sakura and Sasuke have arrived there. Sasuke was like saying, he's like, oh, that sword there. He's like, let's see, it can handle my Chidori. So, Sasuke attacks with the Chidori there. Technically, Sasuke, and the guy with the Rain Village, he's like, oh yeah, it's so true what the Chihas have and shit. He's like the last Uchiha is always fucking weak and shit. He told Sasuke that, and then he freaking used the Chidori there, and he gets his ass hit. Technically, because that thing was eating his fucking chakra also, because that's where he eats chakra, and he got knocked back with the electricity there, and then he's like, yeah, the Uchihas are weak and shit like that. He told him that, and then Sasuke got fucking pissed, and then he's like, don't interrupt my clan there. That's what he said, and then he uses Chidori again there, hitting the fucking sword there, and he actually did a lot more damage there, and it actually cracked. The sword actually fucking cracked there and stuff like that, but still, Sasuke kind of like got outmatched still, and he got thrown over to the bridge where he technically cut one of the layers off and shit like that. Sakura was trying to save him and shit. The bridge falls there, and they both fall. And Naruto was like, "Oh shit!" And in the episode, Naruto was like, "Oh no!" Or he's like, "Sakura, don't." And they both fall, and that's where the episode ends. Yep, that's pretty much it. Comment, rate, and responsive to members who like recommend the description. Hit notification when it's uploads. Comment responsive to members who like carrying out. Add your piece.